And
no, safety's important, man.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that it's not sexy. No one wants to talk about it, but it's important.
well, I'll make it sexy for you on this podcast. I'm bringing sexy safety back. Hype it up. OSHA, motherfucker.
From the basement of the Hotheads Guide to the Galaxy World Headquarters located in northern Colorado, this is the Hotheads Guide Podcast. I'm Matt Reber.
I'm Brown Jake. If you put your finger in a bunghole, do you need a confined space permit? We answer that question and more on this episode of the Hotheads Guide Podcast.
Hey there, Hotheads and Beer Geeks. Welcome to another episode of the Hotheads Guide Podcast, brought to you by Beerds by Nick. With me, as always, is the guy who wears a safety yellow vest, but nothing else, Jake the Brown Guy.
Well, when they tell you, if you go on the plant floor, all you need is safety goggles, earplugs, bump cap, safety vest. They don't ever say anything about pants.
Yeah, you are truly bringing sexy back to safety. That's so disturbing. And also joining us is the most unsafe beer drinker we know, Wade, the brewer guy from Weldworks. We got to come up with a better nickname for you.
To be fair, I'm the second unsafe person I know.
Who put the question mark at the end of the teleprompter? Again. This is the second time in a row.
It keeps happening.
Where's Abacus at? Because he's supposed to be in charge of the teleprompter.
We just have to come up with a nickname for Wade. I don't know what it's going to be. It's a good thing that we haven't come up with a nickname for you.
This is like your third episode, or third or fourth, right? You've been on?
Third. No, second.
Second?
I just did the homebrew one, and then this one.
Oh, I thought you've been on one more.
You've only been on the second
This is
episode?
only the second one.
Oh, well, then you haven't earned your stripes yet.
Yeah, I got to earn it.
He was here for the bottle share, but he did not. Okay.
He didn't
We didn't do
participate in the episode.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't do an episode that night.
Huh.
We should have. That would have probably been fun.
We talked about it. But
Well, that's a new challenge then. By the end of this episode, we might have one for you.
I'm a
A
little
nickname
scared.
or a bottle share.
I think we should. I'm down for the bottle share. Let's do the bottle share.
We'll come up with something. It's going to be one or the other. Yeah. So, what's new? What's going on with you guys? What's up?
Oh, sorry. A little whole pace.
Hello.
Nothing huge on.
Jake's balls just dropped.
I know. Oh, it's safety. They wanted to make sure it was a nice, safe space for them to come out.
They got their yellow vests on.
And high vis stripes. No, I happen to be.
Pictured it. It's terrible.
You could see him in the dark. No, just reading around on some beer news, and one thing that caught my eye recently is actually Cubs manager Joe Madden is making a beer.
Like himself, or
He's teaming up with the brewery out in Chicago area. They're coming out with a German-style Helles lager called "Try Not to Suck." And I guess that is his. I guess that's his term in the ball club. Like, he goes in there and like, just try not to suck. So I was like, okay. So it's just kind of funny that, and for him, like he loves this opportunity. He got, I guess the people were saying that he got really into it, and they kind of put out. They asked him, hey, do you want to? And I guess the next step for him is actually going to open a brewery. It was this one step, but he has another brewery opening, making the beer for him, and then it's going to be at his brewery. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's another little, as we talk, like people people famous that are getting into beer. So I thought, I was reading that going, oh, that's kind of cool.
He's no Hanson Brothers, but he's...
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's got some celebrity appeal.
Those are the guys that have the Texas brewery, right? From the show?
Well, no.
Oh, no, there's a show that these guys that are... One of the guys that's on the show owns a brewery in Texas now, too. It's like some supernatural show.
I don't know.
But he has another famous person that owns a brewery
Is it
too.
It's the Mbop boys.
Yeah, we're talking. That's
the
Hanson.
Yeah, Hanson is. Yeah, I know that they have their own one. And then same thing with one of the Disney kids has a meadery in New York.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah. See, it's just like it's everybody's getting into craft brewery now.
Mickey's got his hands in everything.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
So I thought that was kind of cool. I thought he was just when they came to him, he's like, well, right now I'm kind of old and fat, so right now I just drink Corona. So if we could make something like that, that'd be really cool. So he's like, ever had a Helles Lager? And he's like, no. He's like, so they made one for him. He's like, that's good. Let's name it Try Not to Suck.
Nice.
So it's like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Dude, Crow Hop.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about baseball. They're a baseball brewery. They have a Mexican lager on tap right now that is unbelievably good.
Oh, really?
Really fucking good, man. And they give you the option of a lime or not, whether or not you want to serve it with a lime. I chose not to, and I thought it was great just without the lime. But your mention of Corona made me think of that because it's a really fucking good Mexican lager.
I don't like the breweries that go, well, we're going to come out with the Mexican lager, but we're going to do some lime taste to it, so you don't have to add a lime to it.
Like they add lime to it.
They add lime and salt.
Dude, I like to portion that, and sometimes I just don't want that. I want a good Mexican lager.
Yeah.
So sometimes you open it up and you're just like, oh, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you just made it probably was going to be a good Mexican lager, and you just destroyed it by doing that lime flavoring or that salt flavoring to it.
Yeah.
So, but one of the things I've heard is going around, and it's going to be pushed by a big beer, and I'm not going to mention what one. And I want to see if it'll actually go around to craft beer. Is so you get a can of Mexican lager, doesn't matter which one, and everybody could do this with Cinco de Mayo if this episode comes out in time. You salt the rim. You add tequila. You don't open it. You add tequila to the can, fill it up to the rim, and then add a little bit of lime. You drink the tequila. You open the can and you drink the beer.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so I guess it's one of their things that they're pushing for there, and you'll see it in the stores. But I think it could be done with any Mexican lager, any craft Mexican lager that's out there. I may try it for Cinco de Mayo.
Have you ever heard of a hot lager?
No.
So that's where you do kind of the same thing, but you line the rim with hot sauce.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's called a hot lager. They were kind of popular about like 5 months ago, but
I thought a hot lager was something you see in porn movies.
No.
You know,
Isn't that the Cleveland Steamer?
Dirty Sanchez.
The Dirty Sanchez?
These are just Mexican things I know.
That's all he went to Mexico. And that's all he said to somebody. They're like, Senor, I got your brother. Dirty Sanchez? What? He's like, those are the only two. And Banyo.
That's where you do a hot lager.
I only know cerveza. So.
Banyo hot lager? You want me to poop on your chest? Sir?
That's what I thought it was. I've heard him. I've seen it on other people talking about it.
Other people. I've heard it on other people's podcasts.
So other things, this is kind of old news, but we haven't talked about it yet. But Avery Brewing sold their majority stake. They had already sold to San Miguel. They sold like 25%. But they went ahead and sold their majority stake in the brewery. And I don't know, I'm a little disappointed just because it's a brewery that I love, and I don't want to see control go somewhere else. They're not completely giving up control, but I think there will be some influence there. I don't know how there can't be.
Yeah, I could kind of see it going two ways. I mean, I never really thought Avery was hurting. You know, they did open that big location, but it seemed like people were open arms. They had great food there. Always seemed when they had some kind of release, they have that seller release day on GABF.
Yeah.
And there's lines out the door. So it's just that sale kind of caught me off guard. I read about it. I'm like, holy shit. I really didn't think they were going to push that way. But actually when AB bought, I think it was Elysium, they, like some local guy kind of went around and was like, hey, you know, who's going to be next? Or I think it was Breckenridge. And they kind of went around and said, well, who would be next, you know, in Colorado? And Avery was like, oh, yeah, we would probably entertain the offer.
Sure.
And I think after that, they sold their minority stake to Sam, and then so it was kind of like weird. It was like, okay, you guys are just looking to sell or trying to sell or what? So
well, they were actively looking for investments and they didn't want to completely sell out. So I think that, when they did it, that was the purpose behind it, was they weren't going to be giving up full control. And they did spend, I don't know, $25-30 million on that new facility.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, bankers started calling for the payments and something had to be done. But there's probably some good things that are going to come out of it, especially since San Miguel owns 30% of Founders. Mm. So I kind of see that as an avenue for Founders to expand more than anything.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see is Founders is going to start getting brewed in Colorado for their Colorado distribution, and then Avery's going to start brewed up there. Right. And I think you're going to see, and I think it's going to come in a lot of bigger craft breweries, is you're going to have a lot of this distribution hub brewing, where you partner with another brewery, you brew both beers at both locations, and then the customer will get a fresher product, and you save money on shipping, you save money on all of that. On all the logistics of it, and I think that that's where it's going to go.
And that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It really does. But at the same time, I hope that Avery is still able to create a lot. When you go in Avery's tap room, there's a lot of beers there that are very unique to the local crowd. But then there's also kind of a certain personality of the actual tap room there that has been there since they were in their tiny location.
Oh yeah.
On the other, in that tiny
that
warehouse
in that back alley.
Back alley, yeah.
So
it's like,
that
my GPS tells me it's down here.
still there in a way, and I hope that they don't lose that.
Yeah, I hope it stays around. I'm sure it will, but I think you're going to see a big push in the actual production and distribution.
Which I'm okay with. If I get more Founders, I'd be cool with that.
And you saw that with the Canarchy with Cigar City.
Yeah, Canarchy.
Yeah, but the funny part, our first episode of the season, we had the breweries that went up and went down, and Cigar City, like they saw a big rise in sales and stuff like that, but Oscar Blues saw a fall.
Yeah.
So it was kind of one of those things of like, well, they're the same, they're owned by the same people. But it was that push. Once you saw that merger, that buyout, and all of a sudden you saw Cigar City in liquor stores across Colorado, it was awesome. Like, you're like, holy shit! Like, I've been trading for this stuff, and so it's you could probably you're gonna see that a little bit more. But I hopefully it doesn't hurt Avery by going up to a location where they may already be in liquor stores, and people are just being like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but even at that point, you're still saving money on their end.
Yeah,
it costs a lot of money to ship beer. So
sure, trust me, I know all about that.
So
fucking FedEx.
So yeah, regardless, even if they stay stagnant, they're going to make more money. And you're also diversifying a little bit as far as like being the brewery owner, having a merger with another company, like you said with Cigar City and Oscar Blues. Cigar City went up, Oscar Blues went down, but if Oscar Blues didn't have a stake in Cigar City, they would have just gone down.
Sure.
Whereas now they kind of broke even.
Yeah.
So I think that's...
Yeah, they made money off their investment.
Exactly. And so I think that's going to be a big thing. Even with Funkworks and Brooklyn, they do the same type of thing. So, in 21A,
Yeah. Oh, and with that, Cigar City... for all of our Missouri listeners and my Missouri friends, Cigar City now available in Missouri.
It's one good thing about Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I'm just saying, it's there. It's
hey,
good.
Missouri guys.
Hey, man.
If you have not been to a liquor store, it's a store where they sell craft beer and some liquor.
Well, that's just it. A lot of the Missouri liquor stores are still struggling with craft beer. Missouri has a very isolated craft beer market. You've got St. Louis, which has some great craft breweries. Mm-hmm. Springfield has a couple, But then and then Kansas City. So like your major metropolitan areas have good craft breweries, but then that's about it. It hasn't made it to some of the smaller towns, some of the rural areas. So sometimes it could be kind of hard to come by. And to see Cigar City, granted they are going to start in St. Louis and then expand from there. But, I mean, to see them expanding to Missouri is a good thing for the market there. It's only going to help the industry by getting a name that I think people are going to recognize out there in a place, especially like Missouri. Kansas is very similar to Missouri. Like, you've got your major metropolitan areas, all three of them that there are in Kansas.
Three? Two?
Two.
One? Is there any metropolitan? I thought it was just on farm
Wichita
country.
is considered kind of a metropolitan area, and Kansas City is the other one, and other than that,
there's more skyscrapers in Pueblo than there is in Wichita. I don't call Pueblo metropolitan.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is it's going to be good for craft beer, and it's good for areas like that. Hopefully, it allows some craft breweries to actually open there. Because a lot of the reasons why breweries don't succeed there is people just don't understand it. They don't. Yeah. They're not drinking it.
Well, so, I think it's all on a business standpoint of, okay, you have AB that owns all these craft breweries that are already hitting the market with their craft beer just to try to get it out there.
Yeah.
Because they can. That they're like, oh, shit, we need to, it's shelf space. We can't go, if we go to Colorado, you're just another.
Yeah, you're
another name on,
Right,
so if you go to Missouri where there's like, you go into a liquor store and it's, Coors, Bud Light, and then maybe some Goose Island, something, hey, let's just give it a try. At least we're one of 8 labels.
Yeah.
So that's a good move. I mean, and people who love craft beer are going to be like, oh man, finally I get to try that, or I've been wanting to try that out, or I've had one Cigar City a long time ago at a beer festival. Now I'm going to want to try this, and this. And what they do well with the Oscar Blues is when they do that mixed 12-pack with them, Perlin, and Cigar City, I think that's one of their great selling points.
Yeah, you get to try 3 different breweries at once.
Yeah, but you also get to try like almost 6 or 8 different beers in that one 12-pack. So
it's great.
Yeah. Well, other things in the news that we haven't talked about is, I guess it kind of involves this guy. I'm pointing in.
Or this guy.
This guy's general direction. Yeah, not Irving. It doesn't involve Irving. But WeldWorks is opening up a tap house in Colorado Springs.
Second one, man. That's
second location.
In Colorado, gutsy.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So, I mean, now...
Have you been to Springs?
I haven't, actually.
Yeah, don't go.
We've got a couple people that... obviously a bunch of the people have gone down there for... I think it's been in planning for 6 months or so.
Have they come back?
Actually, I haven't seen them. I hope so.
Like, if they come back, are they still like all of them come back?
I think one's missing an arm now. No, but yeah, they've been doing their research. So I'm not involved in that planning, but they've done the research on it, and they definitely want to make it a community-driven thing, just like kind of what we have in Greeley, but not what we have in Greeley. It's for Colorado Springs.
Right. So, I mean, what you do know is there going to be an actual brewery down there, or is it just going to be a tap house?
Just a tap house.
Okay.
All production will still take place in Greeley, and we will do releases down in Colorado Springs, from what I've been told. I don't know as far as like Noche releases and stuff like that, but you'll pretty much be able to get everything we have at Greeley down in Colorado Springs.
Well, let you know, sometimes I have to go visit my parents down in Pueblo. So every once in a while, I do a Friday drive down to Colorado Springs. So if you need somebody to take beer down there for you.
See, but it's got to make it. That's the problem.
Well, that's not my fault.
That's not part of the deal.
That's not part of the deal. I'm just saying, I'm going that way. I am headed that way.
You can't just deliver empty cans. That's not how this works.
Yeah, again. You'll find out.
And what I heard is there will be some beers that are like specific for the area too, like specific for Colorado Springs.
That's going to be tough.
That's what I heard.
I have not heard that.
That is going to be really tough because
that's going to be hard because we do produce it in Greeley still. There's not going to be a brewery down there. I mean,
well, that
I don't
doesn't
know.
mean you're not going to make something and then
just
only sell it down there.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, I don't know. I don't see that, but I don't know.
You probably need to. I don't know. I've never. Colorado Springs, I think, is becoming a great craft beer. You know, they're
There's
starting to
a
catch
lot
up.
of people, man. Yeah, and there's not that many great breweries down there.
Yeah,
it's
so-
a very underserviced market. That's for sure.
Granted, the person that told me this was a homeless person that lives behind the brewery here in Greeley.
Is that Kyle? Is that who you're talking about?
I'm just letting you know that if you thought there was a lot of
That's loud.
bad homeless people that were in Greeley, Colorado Springs is even worse.
Okay.
They're like, because they cater to them. It's. I'm sorry,
Literally, they cater
to the homeless.
to the homeless.
Like,
They
I'm
just,
sorry
like,
if you
they just bring out food.
if
and-
you
Bring
did
it
not
out.
know, at least 10% of your beer that you take down back there has to go to the homeless.
No, I didn't know that.
Sorry, it's part of brewing in Springs. It's part of having a brewery in Springs.
I heard
Now
that
you
was a
could-
city ordinance.
Now,
Did they look into that? Did they
for
have-
half the
think
money
so.
you spent on that location, you could have bought Pueblo.
Oh man, we should have moved to Pueblo.
And that is technically Greeley of the South, but technically Pueblo, Greeley is Pueblo of the North. So you would just be buying another Greeley
I like that.
because you already own the Pueblo of the
Greeley
North.
of the South.
It's not Greeley of the South, but it's so technically Greeley's Pueblo of the North.
Pueblo of the North. Okay. I like both of them.
That's a stretch.
But yeah, as far as like taproom specific beer releases, I don't know.
I'm just happy that we don't have to worry about Colorado Springs riffraff coming up into our territory anymore.
They don't even come up here.
Yeah,
they come up
Anything
here.
past Denver, they're like, fuck
Trust
that.
me, I have seen a lot of 20-inch rims in the parking lot, and I always know I'm like, Colorado Springs.
That's just regular Greeley.
It's just regular Greeley.
No,
Oh,
Greeley.
that might be Pueblo. That might be Greeley South. You really don't know.
Is 3 20-inch rim and then one like
hubcap.
random spare
There
tire
you go. Yeah.
I got my spinner.
because their paycheck hasn't come in yet, so they
It's on-
haven't got the.
It's
the
on
fourth
layaway.
one. Yeah, at
It
the
is on
pawn
layaway.
shop.
It's kind of tough. Have you ever bought rims at like 4 of them at one time?
Yeah.
It is kind of tough. If you buy one and then just kind of slowly pay on the other ones,
There you go.
that's how you buy them.
All right, rent to
Yeah.
own.
That's well, you can't. Man. It's called a lease.
Lease to own. But yeah, so I think the main draw was like trying to split Denver, try to make Greeley still a destination for people from North Denver, while also having Colorado Springs and the surrounding area be able to have their own location.
Just for those of you listening, I'm pretty sure Colorado Springs is closer to North Denver than Greeley is. So just go to Colorado Springs.
So I could get my goddamn mini milkshake without a line, motherfuckers.
I just want to get my normal seat at the bar without having to be like, dude, that's my spot.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I
Do you
am?
know who I am?
Look on the bottom of your seat. It's got my name.
Literally got my name on it.
I'm part of the Beerds villains.
All right. Well, the real reason we came here today is because Jake made us. Because
No, I didn't.
He wanted to talk about brewery safety.
Well, we're running out of ideas, and you're like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "We could do a safety episode." Like, that sounds really safe. Let's
Well,
do that.
Is this a safe space?
It's
It's
not a
safe
safe
space.
space.
It's not.
You cannot feel safe in this space.
If you have not felt Matt's hand on your leg yet, then you have not realized it's not a safe space.
That is not the brewery dog's tongue. So, Jake, for those of you that don't know, Jake is a safety champion.
Yes.
And his job in the facility that we work at, in our manufacturing facility, is to
Fight other champions?
basically, he
No,
in a gladiator
It's called
style.
challengers because I am the champion.
So,
If you have never learned about fighting, champions don't fight champions. Champions only fight challengers.
There you go.
I guess I'll just let Jake explain to you what his job is, because really only Jake knows.
Actually, I really don't know my job. So I've been in my position. This is going on my second year, and I'm learning more about it. And I'm getting now trained in it.
You're getting gooder at it.
I'm getting gooder at it.
Yeah.
But so I pretty much am the secretary to the EHS manager, basically just in safety.
Yeah.
So you're safety secretary.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I would love that position more than
And he
safety.
gets slapped on the ass a lot.
Oh, I don't mind it. So as a safety champion, my job is to make sure that the monthly inspections, yearly, annual inspections all get done. Fire extinguishers, eye wash stations, ladder inspections, power cord inspections, everything that OSHA regulates, I do. And then on top of that, I do extra training for fork truck, scissor lift,
CPR.
CPR. We're starting to get that. I'm actually a CPR like an actual instructor now.
Nice.
I went and got.
Want some mouth to
You got
mouth?
certified.
Oh yeah.
We can give it to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I make it feel all right. But
Told you it's not a safe space.
But part of my job is to get more in depth and to take OSHA's rule book and start reading through it and trying to decipher OSHA and make sure we're following what OSHA says.
All
So you're
8
like,
pages of it.
Shit. I wish.
So you'll finish in 2021.
Yeah. Well, no, 2025, and then they're gonna come out with a new book, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you remember all that shit we wrote? Yeah, that's it. No, we got a new one." You're like, "Fuck you guys! The Bible never changed this many fucking times." So it's part of my job is to go out there and I get anybody who has a safety hazard or safety observation comes to me, and I try to help them try to figure it out. It could be from anything from like, oh man, the lights on the fork truck are just way too bright. I can't see the driver. I'm trying to communicate with them. Can we do something about it? And we try to figure it out. I try to work with people about that, and I think that's a really good thing because you never know. Like I was talking to a couple people and that own small breweries, and I go, how many times have you had like a team meeting? Oh, we have it every Monday. What do you talk about? Oh, how sales are going, what beers are about to come out. I go, do you ever bring up safety? No. Try doing it one time. Oh, we came to find out somebody was cutting themselves on our glass cleaner because there was a rough edge, and we just did not know about it. They just, oh, wow, that's all right. Oh, and then just deal with it. Well, no, you got to figure that stuff out. That's good. Have a safety meeting. It should just bring it up. You don't have to, doesn't have to be mandatory. Just, hey, we're going to have a regular meeting. Does anybody have any safety issues?
That is how we start every single production.
Yeah. So
safety is our very first topic.
And I don't mind safety being on top of the list. It's just sometimes it gets pushed that people are like, oh God, this again? We're going to have to talk about safety again. I got to come up with another safe item. No, it should just be a kind of natural thing. And I mean, it's all about, and when I went down to it and I thought about just not brewing in like a big scale or even a small brewery or smaller, like just home brewing, and I thought about like, I went through like home brewing safety and I'm like, okay, wait, let me think about it. What was the stuff I was using when I was using propane at an open flame and I was boiling water.
And you had chemicals. You had acid and a caustic.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, am I protecting myself? No, most of the time when I went to go grab that pot and it was hot, it's like, shit, I got to go get a towel or, oven mitts or something like that.
Or anything random that you have in the garage.
Or, oh, shit, or you got your shirt and you went like, okay, shit. And so I thought about like
half of a rug and a towel. I'm going to grab that.
So like having you here, do you think about that? Like, going through the list, I was like, do you have gloves, like, heat-resistant gloves ready to go just in case?
At work or at home brewing?
At home brewing.
I don't.
Okay.
So that's one thing, like, with my thing, my setup is all tri-clamp, and I use pumps to move everything, so I don't actually lift anything or move it. But I still burn my hands often on it. And every single time I'm like, oh, I need to get those silicone heat gloves.
Yeah.
And then next time I'm like, oh, man, next time I need to get those silicone heat gloves.
So you have a buddy come over and he's like, oh, what are you brewing over here? And he goes just to lean over on the pot. That's the whole thing. Yeah,
or I have a kid, man.
Yeah.
Like homebrewing with my kid it's dangerous. Don't go near that every single time because my whole entire brew cart, it's direct fire propane. So it gets hot too.
Safety glasses.
I have glasses.
Well, yeah,
and safety glasses.
So you wear safety glasses over glasses when you homebrew.
I have no, I don't.
See, the same thing. I just thought, well, I wear glasses. I have safety. No, you don't.
No,
they're not protecting you. They're helping you see. They're helping you see the boiling water go into your face.
Yeah.
If it happens, but they're not protecting you from anything. Fire extinguisher.
I have a fire extinguisher in my garage.
In your garage, okay.
Yeah.
And see,
Do
that's
you know
one thing.
where it is?
Yeah, I have 2 of them actually. I have one mounted on the wall and one next to my kegerator.
There you go. See that?
That's a good spot to keep it. Your kegerator's always catch on fire.
It's because I put fucking badass beers in
I
it.
put fire beers
so
in there,
hot.
man. It's so good.
He puts that keg Menino chain. He's like, this keg is on fire. And he's like, what the fuck is he talking about? No. So, and a lot of people don't ever consider that. When's the last time you checked that fire extinguisher?
Well, I just got them, so.
Okay. So
But I check them. I usually
Bottom
check
at the pawn shop.
bottom at the pawn shop. Used.
When he went
They're
to
good.
make his payment on his third wheel.
as the pin fell out and the hose,
you get
sorry,
a
my bad.
you get a good deal on the expired ones.
Oh yeah, they work so well.
This is a serious subject.
And
We
then-
should be laughing.
When you brew, are you brewing in a ventilated area?
I am. I always brew with my garage door open.
Okay,
Mostly
Matt-
because of humidity, though, not
Matt
because of propane.
brews in a small box. I don't know. I think it's really weird. He's like, come in here. It's going to be really fun. But, and then the other things you go on pottery. So obviously the major risk you do with home brewing is you're dealing with boiling water.
Actually, I would say if you don't have a well-ventilated area, the carbon monoxide from the brewing
Yeah,
propane
but
is
most
probably
people
more of a
just
risk.
brew outside, or if
Yeah.
they're brewing on their house stove, they're,
Yeah, it's
you
true.
know, using electric.
But yeah,
so.
I would say that and carbon monoxide.
So in case if it happens and you get burned by boiling water, do you have the right training to take care of that burn?
I would like to think so.
Okay, how would you do it?
Lukewarm water.
Kisses,
There you go.
boo-boo.
Not
Kiss
cold
his
water. Kiss it.
That's why he wants you to come over
I call
this
Matt.
weekend.
Matt kisses it. Yeah, lukewarm water, right?
So obviously, if you invite Matt over, Matt comes and brews with you. And what do you guys do while you brew?
Oh, we drink.
Okay, that actually is one of the number one
Oh, I'm sure.
unsafe things about brewing is drinking. So, hey, man, that's fine. You're home brewing. It's called being at home. I am at home. I am home brewing. I could have a couple beers. But my buddy comes over. He's going to be brewing with me. What is he going to do?
Oh, he's gonna
Have a couple beers. So I'm just telling people, hey, you got a buddy come over. He starts overindulging. Make sure he gets home all right. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's you got to make sure. He's like, all right, dude. Either we got to cut it off here or give me your keys. You know, we still got another hour of brewing. We got to clean all this shit up. You know, and plus if he gets drunk enough, he helps me fucking clean everything up. You know, so that's usually why you give him beer.
Your friend always cuts out.
Yeah,
before-
you obviously don't homebrew.
He's always the one that shows up at my house and is like, yeah. Oh, you know what? The girls have to take a nap.
You have
and I gotta be back
15 minutes left
home."
on your boil. I gotta leave in 10.
Yeah.
So I'll see you guys
Sorry.
later.
See, that's where you get it wrong. I'm not your friend. And so, no, but you do, you give them like, oh, do you want another beer? We got another 15, 20 minutes on the spoil. And then it becomes so, so it always those little things you got to watch out for, and I never thought about that. I never thought maybe I should have a safety glass. I should probably have a pair over it. Because you're looking at that. You're like, oh, shit, is those hops moving right? Is that right? You're looking over this boiling pot of water.
Sugar water.
Yeah, sugar, yeah. And you're just like, holy shit, what if it really just something happened, blopped up and right into my face?
Oh, yeah.
So I'll admit, it's not something that I consider when I'm homebrewing. It's not like the first thing in my mind where I'm like, oh, I got to make sure I have everything I need to be safe. But I'm sure there are a few things that homebrewers could put in their kit.
Yeah.
Because I think every homebrewer has that tub or kit that is like the
Ready to
homebrew
go.
stash.
Stuff, yeah.
And it's always ready to go. So what are some things in that kit that every homebrewer should have?
I would say one, a pair of heat-resistant gloves or silicone gloves. You're gonna, if you need to grab something, get ready to grab it. A pair of safety glasses. Two, you probably don't need to put a fire extinguisher in that kit, but if you don't have a fire extinguisher in your garage and you're gonna be using propane, have one.
And even if you're not going to be using propane, I mean, even if you have an electric,
I'd say even if you have
system.
a garage, you should have
you should
one.
have a fire extinguisher in there.
So
Yeah.
to let you know, by standard, you're only supposed to have one fire extinguisher per floor, and it's supposed to be by either one, your stove, or two, your furnace. So that I did not know that.
I didn't
So
know
if
that.
you,
I keep one in my garage, but only because my garage is full with
gasoline.
Lots
Gasoline
of
and-
combustibles. I got propane. I got gas. I got oil. I got all kinds of stuff.
And that's the other thing to consider is what are the stuff that in there you're not using for brewing?
That's gonna catch on fire. Yeah.
So do you have a cabinet where you keep all your flammable liquids?
I do.
Most people don't.
I have,
you know?
I have a metal cabinet that I do that.
I do not have a flam cabinet, no.
Yeah,
I've
so,
always wanted one, but I also have a tiny garage. So.
yeah, and people did like, oh well, the cheapest one at Home Depot is like $230. People are like, I'm not gonna buy that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, oh no, I'll just put my gas cans outside while I'm home brewing, just to be in a well ventilated area.
It's inconvenient when you want to huff gas.
Yeah.
But
but it's right out
it's
there.
there.
And then obviously, anytime you want to brew, you want to be in a ventilated area. So the two major things: heat resistant gloves and safety glasses. I would say are priority. Make sure you have those in your kit.
You know, I would add to that, proper footwear.
Yeah, I was gonna say not sandals.
Not sandals, and something that
pants.
has some sort of slip resistant sole. And yeah, brewing pants. I don't care if it is a 90-degree day. At least throw some jeans on, because you're dealing with the same boiling liquids that are going to be splashing around, and caustic materials when you're doing your cleaning.
Yeah.
And
So
and to add to that, don't tuck your pants into your shoes.
yeah,
Always have them go over, because there's nothing worse than having. The only thing worse than having hot liquid on you is hot liquid stuck in your shoe.
yeah.
So definitely have
you
your
go.
pants over your shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why you go into a brewery and you see the same type of clothing.
Yeah.
Rubber boots, Carhartt jeans, rubber gloves, safety glasses. So, I mean, when you go to your local brewery, look at what they're using and don't be afraid to mimic that at home,
Absolutely.
because there's a reason for it. And I mean, you have an epoxy coated floor.
Yeah, I do. With
That-
a slip resistant.
which is slip resistant, but not everybody's got that. I
Well,
mean,
and there's some spots in my floor that is slippery because I did it myself.
yeah,
And so, like, there's some spots where you get...
Use more
if it's
wax on
wet,
than
man,
wax off.
If you get wet on it, if it's wet, you slip. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
slipperier.
slippier.
Slippier.
It's definitely slippier.
Than uncoated. But yeah, I do have that epoxy floor, which is really nice. It's easier to clean, but yeah, I mean, it gets slippery.
Yeah.
There's water everywhere.
So, but you should also probably have a first aid kit
Oh yeah.
with
yeah.
some burn ointment or something like that. I
And
mean,
Band-Aid.
Know what to
Band-Aid, yeah.
do. I mean, even if
or at least a mommy to kiss
you
your
should
boo-boos.
just automatically have that. If you have a house, you should have a first aid kit.
Yeah, but keeping it wherever you're brewing just makes it that much
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, everybody's got that kit. Everybody's got that tub that has 99% of their brewing stuff in it. So it doesn't hurt to throw a first aid kit in there.
Yeah, they're not that
Some
expensive.
gloves. They're not. They're really not.
So I looked
So-
up some lines, and this is top 5 unsafe things that happen at home brewing. And this is just, they went to home brewers and asked them. Number 1 was drunk driving. You had a buddy come over, and you're like, all right, yeah, go, you had a couple, I home brewed. I'm going to be right here. I'm fine. But that buddy that came over and homebrewed with you, he's getting in the car and he's driving away. The next one was heavy lifting. You're doing a 5-gallon batch. The weighs quite a bit. Nobody's really preparing to lift that carboy the right way. You're lifting it by the handle, or you're grunting up. You're not really bending right, and you're going to either overexert yourself, and that's what causes
That's
some
a good one.
injuries.
I've never considered that one
Yeah.
because not everybody has a system where they have pumps moving everything
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're
Lifting coolers.
You're lifting coolers. You're dumping into things. You're doing all
On
kinds of
ice, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to carry my fermenters from the garage downstairs.
Yeah.
And with, 5 to 10 gallons of liquid in there, they're not light, I mean, it's probably close to
60
70
pounds.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say 70 pounds, but yeah, I mean,
And most of the time I leave by then. So.
And I will say, if you have those little handles that go around the neck of your glass carboys, those are not
don't use
for
those.
lifting.
Do not
full
trust
ones.
those. Yeah.
Those are for lifting empty carboys
Yeah.
only.
That actually was on the list.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
get the bag that goes
Get the sling.
around.
The neck,
Yeah,
the
the
slings,
around.
yeah.
Don't go get the neck ones.
The neck ones are not for lifting. You will snap those off, and those will be the worst. It's horrible. I've seen it where people break carboys and slice their hands wide open.
Oh yeah.
Next was burns and scalds. So obviously doing with you got. You overboiled and somebody goes to do something really quick and that's it. They get a small burn on their hand or something like that.
Well, that's an easy one because, typically the control of your burner is, it might be 2 or 3 feet off of your burner.
Yeah.
But if you're boiling over and you're in a rush to get over to it, it's real easy to interact with that liquid that's boiling over.
Yep. I will say a trick with that one is get a spray bottle full of water and it'll calm down a boil over.
Yeah.
Or a hose. We use a hose, but at work. But yeah, you can. I have a spray bottle at home that I use all the time.
Yep. Jake just pees on it.
Yeah,
that's all he does.
And you can invest
have you tried our Mexican lager?
And you can buy 5-Star makes a product called Firm Cap. It basically makes it so you don't have boilovers, and it's the best thing ever invented.
I've never used that, but I've heard about it.
It's
but
awesome.
I also am very aware of my boil. Usually, whenever I'm boiling, I'm like. Right there next to the valve, like as soon as it starts to edge up a little bit,
adjusting.
My boil sometimes will do this for the first couple of minutes where it's just like up, down,
and then you
up,
get
down.
that rolling boil after
then
that.
I find that
then you
sweet.
get hot
I find
break.
that sweet spot, and I'm like, there it is. That's,
once
that's
you
what
hit
I'm
hot
looking
break,
at.
you're all good.
Yeah.
Broken glass, obviously, and then with that bottle bombs. So you overcarbonated, you put it in the bottle, and I've had this. My wife has texted me when I was at work at 2:00 in the morning. I hear explosions in the basement. Fuck, they over fermented. I lost a couple beers.
Yeah.
It's like, just go and unplug the heater. You're trying to keep it right, nice 70, get the nice fermentation, get that bottle carbonation, and it just went wrong.
Yeah.
And then you're dealing with broken glass and, broken bottles as well. So you can have that. You could go walk up. You never know when that thing's going to explode. So, so you have to deal with that. And picking up glass, you got to make sure you have cut resistant gloves. You just don't want to go there with your hands. Everybody thinks, oh, yeah, I've been cut once, I'm fine. Yeah, you get a heavy cut. You're going to be, you don't know, it might be bleeding for a while. You may get stitches. So always have a good pair of gloves with you.
Snitches get stitches.
And so do people cut themselves with gloves or with glass. And then one thing that I was amazed was electric shock.
That's probably from electric brewers. People that have electric systems.
Well, but you think about how many people have pumps and shit running
That's
around.
true.
They got
That's true.
Pumps on the water.
cords. Yeah.
They overboil, it gets on there, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I should just go unplug this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. I could definitely see that because I'm guilty of it.
I do it every weekend.
Yeah, you got
got
your
my-
extension cord running to your pump.
Yeah, I got a 3-way thing on it. And
I bet you do.
Yeah, 3-way. No, but it's got a
That's why I don't homebrew with it
And,
anymore.
The last time was just awkward, man. I don't know.
Dave's going to come over homebrew with us.
Okay, if Dave's there, I'm
Okay, that's a little weird. Just 3 guys? That's how I like it. Right, Wade?
No comment.
So those are some of the tips I read online. I've stopped. I went away from homebrewing, but then I thought back. I was like, holy shit, I never did any of these. Like my fire extinguisher was underneath my cabinet, underneath my sink. It was nowhere near my. And I was like, holy shit. Well, I had a gas can 10 feet away
and filled with confetti. You're it's more of a party popper than really a fire extinguisher.
Well, it goes, ay, ay, ay. When you hit it.
Pops out of it.
So that's how you get them out, man, in Mexico. But, I never thought about, maybe I should get that fire extinguisher, put outside, just in case if there's a fire in my garage. Boiling water, I was like, same thing. I wear glasses. I'm protected. No, you're not.
You're not, man.
Shit goes around your glasses. When you go like this, every once in a while, when the wind picks up and you're rubbing underneath your glasses aren't safety glasses. They're there to help you see. They're not there to protect your eyes. You may get less shit in your eyes than somebody who's not wearing glasses, but they're not there to protect your eyes. They're there to help you see. So try to get a pair of safety glasses. And then just, we talked about having those heat resistant gloves. So I didn't ever same thing. I went, oh shit, that's boiling over. I got to do, and you grab, fuck, get my shirt, just have this shit out there ready to go.
Yeah.
No,
with Matt, you have that brew kit. Get it ready to go.
it's definitely worth the investment.
Totally worth it. Let's drink more beer.
All right. You have to pee again?
No. I just want to drink more.
Well, I'm going to go sit on the potty.
Hey there, hopheads and beer geeks. Reber here to tell you about Beerds by Nick. Beerds by Nick makes all of the great products you need to get your beard looking great. Everything from beard wash, mustache wax, beard oil, beard combs, and even beard wipes. Beerds by Nick products are handcrafted using only the finest ingredients, and it's all done right here in Northern Colorado. Go to beardsbynick.com, BEERDS, beardsbynick.com. Use the promo code GalaxyHops at checkout. Brownie, what did you open up here?
This is West 6th. This is their anniversary bourbon barrel aged quad. Kentucky barrel aged quad.
Well, of course.
Oh yeah, because
What makes it Kentucky?
Well, because the barrels came from Kentucky, which West 6 is located in.
Oh, are they? Oh,
Yeah.
I've never heard of West 6 before.
Really? Oh, they make some great beers.
They do.
I got a buddy that I trade. Actually, a lot of Wildworks. Anything dark Wildworks, I trade him for.
There you go.
So
this is great.
So we did when you guys did that Crowler run of
No chase.
I got one. I was just really looking for their snake cake, which is their barrel aged stout.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that before.
That's so they did the crawlers of that, and he goes, "I could get a snake cake if you could give me this." I was like, "Oh, that's fine, dude, but I'm paying $40 for this crawler. What do you?" He's like, $12.
Oh, my God.
I was like, "Yeah, we got to work out." And he's like, "Oh, I could send you this barrel aged quad on top of that." I'm like, "Okay, all right, I'll go for that."
I think that was a good trade because this quad's really good.
Oh, it's
really
very
fucking
good.
I am a huge fan of quads. I think that they barrel age really well too, because the stone fruit in quads and the vanilla to me just are good.
Oh, it's super good.
It's like what a quad should be without barrel aging.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I could get every quad to taste like this one, I'd be happy. And it's just unique to see a beer that's that color. It's kind of funky brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Interesting carbonation with like no head at all. It's good.
Goes down smooth. I could probably drink this all night, like 4 old fashions that we had last Saturday.
Dude, I had the worst hangover the next day.
Oh, I had to go to work and run a fucking printer, man. I was the worst thing. I didn't want to go.
Fuck, dude.
And I went home and drank another scotch or whiskey on the rocks.
I had another one too, and I felt fine.
Oh, dude.
I got home and I'm like, man, I feel great. I'm gonna have another whiskey.
I felt
Went
like
to bed, slept like a champ. Woke up the next morning pissed off. I was like, what the fuck happened to me last night? Oh, yeah, 6 whiskeys happened to me last night. That's what happened.
Yeah, it was.
That's why I don't drink liquor.
I was so
Dude,
excited.
but whiskey doesn't usually do that to me. But I think it was those first 2 old fashions that we had, or no, the first one that we had.
It was really sweet.
That was super sweet,
Yeah.
and I think
it was all
that's
the
the one
sugar.
that did it. I think all that sugar just fucked with me.
Yeah, because the first one, the girl, I can't say the girl made. We think she made. And then
Fairly confident.
and then the guy that's regularly there that makes most of the drinks saw us, and he was like, "Oh, hey, you guys are outside."
Yeah.
And then I think he made our next 3 that were less sugary, and oh god! But I went home feeling like great. I'm like, man, I could have one more.
She actually made the last one because I saw her muddling.
Oh, okay.
I saw her muddling the sugar cubes, and I was like, oh, she's gonna make the last ones. And we even sat down. I was like, these are gonna be kind of sweet because I saw her making them. But she did really well in the last one.
I think he was kind of oversight, like, hey.
No, they were really busy too when we first got there. So I think maybe she was just overwhelmed, making a lot of drinks at the same time. But the hearts, those fucking old fashions, dude.
I haven't been there yet. I need
Really?
to go. Yeah, I really need to go.
You need to go.
So good.
Their cocktails are really good. They have a bartender that has a fantastic imagination when it comes to making cocktails. But on top of that, he makes the best old fashioned I've ever had in my life.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to go check it out. I've been meaning to get over to High Hops. I just haven't.
You'll end up going back to the Heart and just hanging out back there.
Yeah, because you can't have beer with your liquor, right?
No.
It's completely separate.
You can sit across the fence from someone who has their beer.
But you can't be in the same thing.
Nope.
Yeah, and so now they've built a patio so that you can sit across the patio from somebody.
Yeah, you could be both outside.
There's a fence between you, but you can both be outside, which I think is cool because it's still allowing you, you got the guy that wants to go have the cocktail and his buddy that wants to have the beer. They can still sit and chat with each other.
Yeah, and the band's still right there. You're still enjoying it, but you still get like an awesome view from the other, the Heart patio.
Yeah.
It just, you kind of hear the background of the music, where on their patio you get the full blown music.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I thought I was just craving one for so long. Like I came
so
over
good.
here, we recorded a little bit, and he's like, "Well, what are you up to?" I'm like, "I have to go have an old fashioned." And he was like, "Oh, let me go. I don't wonder what the wife's gonna do. Let me go see if we can."
Hey, I invited her. She had the opportunity to come with.
Oh, she was like,
Unfortunately, she wanted to watch trashy TV.
So what are you gonna do tonight? She's like, "I just started this episode." Oh, Brownie was going to go have an old fashioned.
Oh, I know that life.
Can I go have a drink with them? Oh yeah, if you're gonna go have one. 4 later.
4 later. Actually, her response was, "See you later."
Yeah, she was. She like, my wife has still not caught on to that. Like, I'm gonna go with Matt and have a beer. Yeah, I'm not gonna go have a beer.
Oh yeah, my
You
wife
never.
knows.
How many times you went to somebody and were like, "That was one. I gotta go home."
Oh no,
No,
never.
you start bullshitting. You got to get in, and you're having a great time. And it could be 1, turns into 3, for us, turned into 4. Like, I just thought, maybe we have 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But then we had that 2, and we were both like, this is...
having fun.
Oh, God, it was a beautiful night. It was nice, and, they got that spring warmth out, and it was a great freaking scenery. Why go home? Why? The drinks were...
No old fashions at home.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what.
Well, no, but you don't have that view at home. That's what I was saying. Like, you're like... And that's what the drinks is telling you. Why go home? Why? You don't need to go home. You don't. Your wife and kids are gone.
Can you see the mountains? Can you see the mountains from your house? No.
The last time you tried to make old fashioned yourself, it came like a shit. They make a good one. Just stay here. Okay, you're right. You're right. Drink. You're right. I should stay here.
And that's when you know you have a problem.
Yeah, when you start talking to your drinks.
No, the real problem is when they start talking back.
Yeah, that is the.
Well, they talked me into it. Because even Matt goes, "Should we have one more?" I was like, "My drink says yes." What does your drink say? He's like, "I don't know. Yes." Yeah.
That's how my wife knows though. Like if I'm gonna go have a beer, it's like I'll be back in a few hours.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's never one beer. It's never
not,
one beer.
It's not. It can't ever be one beer.
Unless you're by yourself, then it might be one beer.
Unless you have like
even when I'm by myself, I
a
manage
shitty
to have
experience.
2
It
or
has to
3.
be a shitty experience to me. Like if you ordered a beer, like someone talked you into it, and it was this shitty beer.
Oh yeah, then
And you're just like, no, I'm done. Just give me my 4-pack of
This
Juicy
real-
Bits. I'm
real-
out.
Oh, is this shitty beer at Wildworks then?
I'm not saying anything. I just happened to be by.
They just
I'm
talk
not
to
saying
you.
it's not.
They talked you into a kettle sour. Obviously, someone's upset.
He said it was the bee's knees. I'm not. Whoever is from the 1960s that works there, I'm never buying beer from him again.
Was it the guy in the fedora again? That guy does not work there. We've been trying to kick him out.
He's like, you got to try this, man. It's the bee's knees. I was like, you know what? Nobody uses that term anymore. I'm going for it.
Never trust a man in a fedora. That's what I always say.
That's been my motto for life.
Yep.
So this whole thing, like, I hope people. This is another thing you got to bear out. If someone tells you I'm going out for a beer, no, they're not.
No. Especially if they're meeting someone.
Oh yeah. Or if you like Matt said, if you're by yourself, you go on the patio, you sit down, and it's just a nice fucking day.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. I'm not going fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
There's always that, and yeah, there's sunny day, but there's always that sunny day where you get a nice cool breeze, nice spring breeze. Oh man, I love those days. That's the days I love sitting out on the patio.
I like the warm summer nights.
Yeah.
Like just sitting out. It's awesome.
Yeah. Now I want to go sit on my patio and have a cigar. You guys need to get the fuck out of here.
We haven't finished the safety episode yet. You be safe about smoking that cigar. Are you wearing safety glasses when you're smoking that cigar?
Are you wearing your safety
respirator? Am I wearing my safety glasses? No, these aren't my safety glasses.
Because a piece of cigar could come up. You need side shields. They could just come up right here.
Yeah, that's true.
And burn your eyes.
Make sure you wear your respirator.
Have oxygen
That's
ready.
a different kind of smoke.
Oh, yeah, that's the gas mask.
That was our 420 episode. You missed out on that one.
All right, so let's talk about brewery safety.
Yes.
I mean, we have a guy who works in a brewery. He in a, brewer capacity?
Yeah. That is my title.
Once again with the question marks. Fuck, you're killing the podcast. It wasn't a question. He was just trying
Maybe
to do
that's
it.
his nickname.
Brewer?
Wade the Brewer?
I like that.
I'm going to put that on.
The brewer?
I'm going to put Wildworks symbol. I'm here to see Wade the Brewer.
No, just put Brewer with a question mark at the end of it. And
That's
his
actually,
t-shirt.
I'll make you a shirt like that. There'll be a Wildworks shirt, and on the back, it'll just say Brewer and question mark.
Brewer or janitor, your choice.
That is the best nickname ever. It's locked.
It's locked. Locked in.
There you go.
Abacus! Sit down! Fuck, guy, man. This is the last time we got it. We're done with the interns after this semester.
Did I not tell you I fired Abacus?
Now, who the fuck am I yelling at?
I don't know.
Who the hell made my Chinese food when I walked in?
There was nobody. Abacus has been gone for months.
God damn it. Who's that little Chinese boy in your living room?
Oh, that's the ghost of the Chinese boy that lived here before.
Because whatever he does to shine my shoes, he does a really great job.
All right, let's start talking about brewery safety again because I feel like we've gone off on a tangent.
We went
slightly.
a little bit to the left. We'll bring it back here. I'm going to go over some programs. You tell me yes or no. You have these at your brewery. I mean, you're mid-size. You're not big.
Yeah.
You're not small.
We're
They
still
own
working on it.
all of Greeley. They're slightly over mid-size.
Well, I think Greeley has a good safety program. If you bought them, they probably got rolled in with yours. Confined space. Do you have a confined space program?
As far as like labels,
No.
we have confined space. Like you have to have a permit to get into our tanks.
Okay.
And labels that say like "Do not enter into this confined space."
That's good.
And so, what does that mean? Does that mean
That
okay?
means
This
don't
is
get in a tank.
like put your head in the tank, your full
Yeah.
body in the tank, your
You can't-
arm.
You can't put your head in the tank.
Okay.
Toe?
Do you
Can
realize?
put your toe in a tank?
Don't put your toe in the tank.
Just to let you know, you can't break that plane with any body part.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
Wade.
So if you have
I don't ever do it.
if you
no
have a-
body parts.
No body parts.
If you have
Wait,
a-
all of my body parts.
yeah,
None of the
all
body
your
parts.
body. So
They're
if
all
you
off
have a
limits.
tank and you're like, I gotta clean this tank, I'm gonna spray this. I'm not gonna enter. Oh wait, right
No,
here.
I definitely.
And you
break
put
that.
your hand in. You have to fill out a confined space permit.
No more wiener in a fermenter.
Doesn't matter.
for
Your
Wade.
head's not going in and going, what the hell's going on up here?
So
You
there's
said
no-
green shit.
There's no way to take some of our manway doors
Yeah.
out without putting your hand in. So how do you do that?
Like you have to put your hand into the tank.
the door,
to the man.
yeah, because the manway door swings in, and you have to reach in to grab it to pull it out. The
Tank.
design of the tank
Okay.
means that it pushes the weight of the beer pushes against it
So
to create the seal.
if to take away confined space of putting yourself in to take care of that, you have to have some kind of tool or instrument. So you can have like a.
They have a tool. They have Wade.
there you go,
Yeah, it's a big tool. He's brewer
brewer
tool.
brewer tool.
So if you have like a rope on the door
Tool's
and you
not a
pull the
question
door
mark.
towards you, you can't. Once you break that plane of that tank, you have to have a permit. I'm sorry to say, even if it's reaching in to close the door.
I believe you. You're the champion.
I'm just letting you know. But that's stuff they don't teach you.
No,
That's just-
this is the
But
first I've heard of that.
that seems a little extreme that OSHA would come up with that.
It is if you
That is
any
very
body
extreme.
part breaks the plane of the confined space, you have to have a permit.
Well, but these OSHA rules aren't strictly for brewers. Like this isn't.
No, they're not.
These aren't rules that are like these are for breweries. These are rules that are in general.
It is general, and
So
it's
I kind of see.
it's
there's
letter.
got to be some flexibility.
It's letter interpretation. Now, yeah, let's say you're cleaning out a tank. You're spraying a hose. You have the door inwards.
Yeah.
And OSHA says, "Hey, we're here to do an inspection."
If I reach in and grab that manway,
they're not going to be like, "Hey, that's fine." You know.
Yeah, I'm not putting my upper torso into a tank full
but what they'll probably do is say, "Okay, one, he's not supposed to be breaking that plane. Can you put some kind of instrument where it's a handle out here and you just pull?"
Yeah, I know.
And they could probably look at it. That's all they're going to recommend. Because OSHA comes in with recommendations.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you come in and you're cleaning that tank, and you just clean with caustic. And you're like, all right, I got to go reach out and fucking right on your arm. Whole bunch of caustic just fell that you did not hit.
Yeah.
And you get hurt. And OSHA comes back out and goes, okay, one, that door should not go in. You should realize that. So let's look. You should change your doors.
Or there should be something that allows you to go in without sticking around.
Or an instrument to clean that. That's one thing. I was actually at, it was 4 brewers. And Odd 13s, and it was actually their head of marketing, who's their safety coordinator.
Makes
she
sense.
goes, "We could clean our tanks perfectly fine from our manway. It just happens the stuff around the man door is the part we can't get with the hose. So we usually have to reach in with our hand."
Oh, see, we don't do that. Our spray ball hits everything.
So, but the guy goes, "Okay, so your tanks are confined space." He goes, "You do have to do it." She goes, "But I'm not putting my head in there. I'm putting my hand." Does not matter.
Yeah.
You have to do a monitor, and it's not like it's freaking a hard thing. You just do a monitor, and it's most likely going to be perfectly fine. You just have to. It's going to be
but a monitor's not going to pick up things that could possibly drip on you.
I know.
That's a monitor for CO2. Or?
It's for CO2.
Oh, we have a CO2 monitor.
So that's the whole thing. That's what she was saying. She goes, "So you're telling me I have to fill out a permit because it is permitted confined space."
Yeah.
Just to put my hand in to wipe up here. And he goes, "Yes, sorry to say, by OSHA standards, you have to do that."
Yeah, it makes sense.
But it's not, that's the whole thing. A lot of people are like, that's production over safety. It's 99 times out of 100, doing this is not going to hurt me.
But it's that 100.
The 1 out of 100, or 1 out of 1,000, or 1 out of 100,000. That's going to hurt you. That's why OSHA has that in there. It's going to be that I cleaned that, I think that everything went white. That she opens that and she doesn't do the permit. She doesn't, and she goes to clean, and all the CO2 somehow backfills from another valve somewhere else, and she's right there, and it fills into that tank, and a whiff of it hits her, and she just leans the wrong way, and that's it. That's what they're looking at for.
Yeah,
so.
And I will tell you that, like, I've gotten, not thinking wise, put my head into a fresh tank that I've just blown down, and man, it takes your breath away. Like you wouldn't believe. Like, I've smelled CO2. Like you get that when you open up a can of Coke or whatever, and you get that little that little bit. Yeah. But when you have that much CO2 in your face, it takes your breath away, and you can't breathe. It's not like it's just like, oh, it burns, because it'll burn your nose, but it literally makes it to where you try to breathe in and you get nothing.
Yep.
And it scares the hell out of you. So yeah, CO2 is nothing to mess around with. It will kill you in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So it's one of those, like, you as long as they have marked on that this is confined space.
We do.
It's a permanent confined space. Yep. There's a ways to get around that. Yeah, there's some stuff that, I went to a great training for confined space, and the guy was like, let's go through the OSHA definition. OSHA definition is this a confined space? Is there one entry? Can you live in this thing? And he showed a trash can. Well, yeah, trash can had 2 entries. So no, it's not a confined space. Well, it's a confined entry. It's very narrow to get into this trash can. But can somebody live in it? And he showed another slide where people made houses out of trash cans. Well, wait, yeah.
Kyle was there?
No, that's where he finds his workers in little small houses. So it was kind of eye-opening. Like, he just brought on, like, okay, in this room, let's say these doors weren't here, and we had this trash can, and this is the only way. This hole, this hole in the door is the only way in and out. Would this room that we're everybody in be technically a confined space? Yes, is a minimum in entry and access. The very small. Not all of us could rush out this door. It would be one person at a time. So it's, confined space is one of those things you'd we do it every day at work. Someone goes like, well, why is this? Well, one, it's one entry to go down here, and there's no other exit. And so, but you could fit 50 people down here,
but you can't easily get in and out.
Yes. Yeah. So, it's just one of those things you got to think about. I always tell people, well, I go just get a tool to get an arm that has a scrubber on it and just,
they have a tool.
Yeah.
Wade's tool.
Yeah.
Hearing conservation program. And this is really big going on in breweries because a lot of people I've even talked to there's the lady there. And so do you guys have a hearing conservation program?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. So that means they actually went and had somebody came out and did decibel in your front.
No. However, I will say one of the best things I have done in a while. So I went out to field work out in California.
Yep.
And met up with Alex, and he showed me the best tool that I have shown off to every single brewer that's come in the brewery since we've gotten it. Basically, you take a muffler and weld a tri-clamp fitting on it, and you can blow down your tanks, and it's completely quiet.
Nice.
And it's the best invention ever because we can blow down a tank and can relieve the pressure. That's what I mean by blow down a tank.
Yeah.
We can relieve the pressure in it in less than a minute, and it's not blaringly loud.
So OSHA regulates how much decibels of noise you can handle in 8 hours. Now, blow down a tank. So let's say you didn't have that. So how long would it take to blow down a tank?
Like at least 20 minutes. So you can do a couple different things. You can put a longer hose on it, and that moves the noise out down lower and kind of distributes it. Or you just bleed it really quick or really slowly. So it saves you 20 minutes, 30 minutes using that muffler.
So what they do, to do an actual hearing conservation test, they would actually do testing for 8 hours.
Gotcha.
And that's what you got to regulate, is how much decibels you're actually getting for that 8 hours. However, if you're just blowing that, how many times do you do that? And maybe once every other day? Or...
Oh, no. I mean, we're blowing down tanks 2 or 3 times a day.
Okay.
Because it depends on what we're doing. If we're canning, you've got the 3 tanks that we can that day, and then the fermenters that are going into those. So, I mean, it's breweries are noisy places.
Yeah. So
canning lines are loud. Everything's loud.
The funny part, we had the hearing conservation person was talking, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I went to a couple breweries, and that was awesome. You guys are under OSHA's minimum level." And we did a whole bunch of testing. I called them, and I went out to blah blah blah, and I went out to blah blah blah, and nothing was going on. You know what happened? As I was walking out, I was like, "Oh, I'm done for today." And I was walking out the door. You know what turned on? The music.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of these breweries have great, nice sound systems because when you're brewing, you homebrew, what are you listening to?
Yep, you're listening
to music. So she went back out and was like, wait a minute. How long is this on during the day? Oh, it's on all the time. And I was like, well, what music? What's usually playing? It depends on who's brewing or who's there. And she went back and put her test equipment, found out that little bit of music that they're blaring put him over that level limit.
Huh. I believe it. Especially
it just
with
happened.
Cam listens to death metal.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And so she goes, we had to go back out to breweries that she just visited and was like, okay, guys,
put your music
I
on.
want normal working conditions. They're like, we gave you that. She's like, no, you didn't. You found out you're making a test and you're like, turn off that music. We have an OSHA, and she was an OSHA, she was 3M. We have a person coming out and doing hearing conservation. So we want her to see what the sound is in our environment. And they didn't think music affects anything.
Yeah.
Because you don't. You're in your car. You blow your car, or you put headphones on while you mow your lawn just to drown out the lawnmower.
I wear headphones at work because I listen to your guys' podcast. So.
Yeah. Well, ours
plug right there.
That's cute.
But that probably adds like 2 decibels.
I mostly just
now when you go on your little rants, man. Jeez. Actually, it's probably me that gets louder than
you do. You get really upset. You're like, what the hell?
I am an angry little bearded man. What can I say?
You are angry and little and bearded.
But yeah, the sound, I get that because we used to have craft canning come in before we got our canning line, and they had a shaker decal. So literally it just shook. Whereas ours is a conveyor decal. And the first time that I was on that canning line, I had a massive migraine.
There you go.
And because I was standing next to a shaker decal for 12 hours.
Fucking loud as shit.
It's loud as shit. And I couldn't, like, the next day I showed up with headphones and earplugs because it's so loud and it hurts your head. Yeah. Like, it just does.
It does.
But, yeah.
Next program, and this is a big one, and it's starting to get pushed on. I actually think it was one of the things that was at the Craft Brewers Conference 2 weeks ago. Lockout, tagout.
Yeah.
You have a lockout, tagout program. Do you have your own personal lock?
I don't.
That is not part of a lockout, tagout. Personal lock is part of a lockout, tagout.
Yeah,
you should have your own.
That's something we need to work on.
Yep.
His lock says, wait.
Actually,
is this your lock?
Actually, it's the lock that me and Reber have. That's the best friend's heart lock.
You put them together?
Yeah, you put them together. It makes a
best
lock.
Friends.
So I can only lock out, tag out when he's there.
Oh, man, I lost my half.
Oh, no. That's why you haven't been able to lock out anything at work.
Irving swallowed it and he hasn't pooped it out yet.
Is that why you follow with him a bag in the backyard?
All the time. I got to find the other half
just
of that
poop
heart.
it. And he's like, I never ate any of that. You keep blaming it on me. No. It's been 4 weeks.
Best friends forever. Where'd the hell did that come from? I don't know.
So yeah, lockout, tag out is something that we're always working on stuff. But yeah, that's something.
I know that's was a big talk about. It's in, like, I'm telling you, from your guys' industry to big industries to big it's everywhere. One of the worst fucking things to try to figure out, because the letter interpretation from OSHA is so fucking vague, and it's just how it's letter interpretation. I may interpret it one way and you may take it a different way.
And it's important because I've heard about I can't remember the brewery, but it wasn't even a brewer or anyone that works at the brewery. It was a maintenance guy. Yeah. And he got 3rd-degree burns from a boil over because they didn't lock out, tag out when he was working, and they had a boil over, and it burned him. Yeah. And it's like what we talked about earlier. Like, it's boiling wort is no joke. Like, it will burn the crap out of you in a heartbeat.
Another big one is machine guarding program. So you got belts, pulleys, everything.
Yep.
Do you have a guard over everything?
No.
See?
So, especially on, like, conveyors you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, like our conveyor, I mean, obviously the cans go down that. We don't have an enclosed conveyor on everything. We have it on moving parts on our PSA line. That's our canning machine. It comes with the appropriate guards that it comes with. But as far as our conveyor belt moving down, I mean, there's shields preventing you from getting your hands stuck in there. But as far as, like, the cans moving on them, they are not fully enclosed, no.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Respiratory program.
I like respiratory better.
Respiratory.
Nope.
That's my program. That's safety champion program.
No, the only place I could really see this being an issue besides the CO2 is when you're milling in, because you have that grain dust. We have a shop vac hooked up to a Tornado that, like, separates the dust, and an enclosed. Our mill is enclosed, so it feeds into an enclosed area, and then that gets sucked out. So we don't have a whole lot of dust going around in our brewery, but it is something that we could work on, obviously.
So I'm only going to let you know I covered a collaboration. I'm not going to say which one. It just happened. The guy name was maybe Kyle, and it was with a place that liked fiction. So his mill was in a confined room.
Yeah, he's got that separated.
Yeah, and I was just like, holy shit, all these people are going in there. All that dust is in there. Not only for risk of, like, sucking that stuff in, it's a flammable.
Oh yeah, man,
dust.
Grain fires are no joke.
Yeah, so I was like, holy shit. And then watching some of his stuff. So we'll get on that a little bit later. I could tie that back in. One thing that I know a lot of breweries don't have, and we talked about.
My wife's home.
Oh, we talked about this later, and I think every brewery should look at it, is just get a couple people. You have a safety committee.
Yeah.
You have a couple people on there, and they're not your safety cops. They're not. You just have guys come in and you just talk about safety. You know what's going on in the plant, and I talked to you about this. You don't need to start off meaning safety. You just have part of it just be like, is there anything we're missing safety-wise out there?
I know we don't. Like, we don't have to talk on our meeting on like that, but that's how we start every meeting because it is that important. And it's not a deathly, like, this is what you guys need to talk about.
Yeah.
It's more of like, hey, What have you guys seen? What do we need to work on? Does anybody have any things that we can do?
I saw this coming. Breweries coming in. Lockout tagout is probably one of the biggest issues and problems that are going on around with breweries right now. It is lockout tagout itself is a big monster, and I actually think at the Brewers Conference, the classroom session was called the lockout tagout monster, because there's so much things that could go with lockout tagout that you don't know. Okay, is this a SAM, which is single access to machine? Okay. Your palletizer decal's coming in and a can stuck. I just hit the stop button or the e-stop, and I'm just going to go, oh, wait, is that right? Or should I be going and de-energizing the machine and walking over here and put my lock on and filling out this form, removing this can, going back over, removing. So that's the whole part. Lockout tagout is a big, gigantic monster that is, affecting a lot of breweries, because they getting these canning lines in, they're getting these bottling lines in. That is starting to affect them, and it is one of those things that everybody's trying to figure out. Even our company's been around for 30 plus years, and our shit's not even set in stone of what you lock out and what you tag out. It is still one of those things that is just going to keep evolving. And I think as long as you feel, the way I say is, if you're in doubt, lock it out. That's the only thing. If you feel like, I'm going to reach my hand in there, but is this big arm going to swoop down and grab all these boxes while I'm doing it? I don't know. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to de-energize. Just lock it out. But if you're down like, oh, I know, like e-stop, boom, that's it. My machine's not going to do shit. Reset, look, reset, start. It's not doing shit. I'm right here. Clear can. Boop. E-stops back up. Reset, start. It's back going. I understand that. But if you're ever in doubt, if you're learning, just lock it out. Just to feel, if you're going to feel safe, put a lock on it. Put a lock on it.
So you're saying wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
I mean, so in breweries that are just starting out, how do they address a safety program? I mean, you're talking about a guy that's just spent the last 3 years of his life trying to come up with the money, the idea, the equipment, all the infrastructure, filling out all the paperwork, and now he's got to think about safety. The safety of his employees and the safety of himself. Where do you start?
One of the things is, and what's so great about craft beer is, go to your Brewers Association. If you go to the BA, they have everything set up for you right there. Not even them, the Master Brewers Association, have free documents to get these programs up and going. To say, okay, this is what OSHA defines as a confined space. Do you have them? And go around and say, okay, yeah, you're right. I bought this, 60 barrel fermenter or 60, and holy shit, I never thought about it. Like, I should put this as a confined space, because you know what? Joe goes up in it all the time to fucking clean it out, because he's the smallest guy that works here, and he's the only first person that fits through that manway. Yeah, you gotta figure that stuff out. You gotta really get down. But there is programs out there that are going to help you. Read about it, get it all set up and going. And the whole thing is, those mom and pop places that you've been itching. You've been a home brewer and you won that gold medal 3 years in a row at the home brewers conference, competition, and your buddy fell on, lotto money, and he's gonna, you know what, buddy, I won $100,000. I'm investing in you. Your beers are the shit. I'm investing in you. You know what? We're going to start a brewery. That's all fine and dandy. You open a brewery, you get all the tanks in, you have your brewery. You're going. What happens if you get hurt? What happens if you go to boil beer, you don't understand that system, and that overboils, and you get third-degree burns on 30% of your body. You're in the hospital for 120 to almost a year trying to get that done. What happens?
Which has happened to people working in craft breweries.
Oh yeah. There's been multiple instances of that.
Yeah. So what happens to your brewery where you're the head brewer? Your recipes are all up here. You don't have an assistant brewer. You don't have guys coming to help out. What happens to that? Your wife just quit her job because we're opening a brewery. We're opening a brewery. Let's go do this. We're living the dream. And you're out. You're the head brewery and you're out. What happens? What happens at small brewery? That's it. You're done. Those recipes in your head, that's it. And
you can't afford to hire someone else to help you.
Yeah.
So
really what you're saying is start with the Brewers Association.
Yeah.
And build your program off of what they recommend.
Yeah. They actually have everything, all the lockout, tagout programs, confined space, for truck safety, blood pathogens. Sorry.
Bloodborne pathogens.
Hearing conservation. I know a lot of places will tell you hearing conservation. Our brewery's not that loud. Yeah, but when you get like 8 or 9 speakers in your brewery and you blast heavy metal, it might be going over that limit. Lockout, tagout, machine guarding. You just got to look at everything. No, just even if you just decide to open a tap room. I asked Wade, I was like, hey, Weld, how many people over there are CPR certified?
Yeah, I don't think anybody is.
I think, well, that's not that big of a deal. Understandably.
No, but even just not the employees. I mean, talk about a customer. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's something that I will bring up on our next meeting because it's honestly important.
My main concern is first dates, because you're dealing with glass. What if a brewer, or a patron drinking your beer, drops a glass, he goes to pick it up, cuts his arm, and it's just bleeding, and he's there with his arm, and it's blood is. What are you supposed to do? Exactly. How are you supposed to take care of this? So. Those are some of the programs in there you have to find out. You have to go. I do CPR training. I do first aid training. I think you have to at least have 1 or 2 people in your tap room just educated on that stuff. They don't have to be experts, but they got to know what to do. If a guy comes out and you see blood shooting out their arm, oh, do I just wipe that up with a Clorox rag? And, oh, hey, here's your beer, dude. What are you supposed to do? There's a lot of stuff out there. I don't think, from small to mid-size, but there's programs out there that's willing to help you. And OSHA has one of the biggest ones, and they started in Colorado. It's the OSHA Alliance. They started in their southern tier, where they told breweries, like, hey, if you want us to come out for free, we'll come and look at your brewery. We are going to come out and we're going to walk and we're going to let you know where you need help and where you don't need help. And during that time you're working with us, you can't not have any OSHA recordables. What that means is if get no fines, no nothing. They're coming out because we understand your mom and pop, and we understand that this big book from OSHA could be taken the wrong way, and it's a lot to read, but we're going to help you get through it. And I think that's awesome. And actually, it's worked so well in Colorado, they're going to spread it nationwide. So if you're a brewery, call your local OSHA, get them into your brewery. They're just going to go through, do a nice walk-in. I think it's one of the best programs out there. They're going to look at your stuff, and you know what's going to happen. They're going to find out, okay, wait a minute. So you have a 4-truck. Have you done any certification? Oh, no. Everybody knows how to drive a 4-truck. That's a fucking miniature car that could kill a lot of people on wheels.
And stab them.
Yeah.
And it's heavier than a car a lot of times.
Yeah. It's like a midweight, not even like the weight of a 4-truck is to counterweight what you're picking up.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is going to be like a mini ball of fucking death. And you're doing something with it. You're like, oh yeah, I'm cool. I'm just gonna go around here, pick up this.
I'm gonna do donuts in the parking
I'm
lot.
gonna do donuts. Yeah, I'm gonna do all this stuff. I'm not gonna put my seatbelt on because my fork truck doesn't matter if I do it.
Seatbelts aren't cool, man.
Oh, you know what? We need to change that light bulb up there. You know what, Dave, jump on the forks, and we're gonna change that light bulb. No, don't.
Yeah.
That's not the way you do shit, okay? Because you know what happens is Dave falls off, and you're gonna try to catch him with the forks. Dave gets stabbed. Dave dives.
Dave dives.
Dave's family sues you. There goes your brewery. So just play it safe. Safety is one of those things that you open a brewery, you don't really think about it. You just want to get beer out there. You want to have a good time. Your buddies tell you win a home brewery. You make the best beer in the world. You need to open a brewery. I do it. Everybody's loving your beer. You know what? That's fine and dandy. But what happens if you boil that next pot of beer and boil over, and there you go.
Yeah, and people just think about the chemicals, too. I mean, that's a big thing.
Yep.
Is they're like, oh, chemical safety. But there's so much more to that than just chemicals.
Yeah. SDSs, I mean, they're out there for a reason.
Yeah.
The government regulated that shit for a reason.
Yeah, caustic literally will turn your skin into soap. That's what it does.
It's crazy.
And it's some dangerous stuff. It's not fun, man.
I mean, I don't want to go. I thought I had everything written down for this episode about shit that's happened to people. Like just overboils, burning, all this shit that's happened. So, like, number one thing is fork truck safety. And I get this, like, Avery. We talked about them earlier on this podcast. I remember the first time I went to Avery, and I was walking through that back alley where their old location was, and they had pallets of cans and filled cans out. And I was just like, is this the way I see the sign? And I started walking out, and there was this little door, and all of a sudden, a fork truck just comes flying out. This guy has full cans, boxed, everything's palletized, flying out. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, dude, where is the warnings? There was no sign saying, hey, walk this way, make sure you go around. And I walked in there, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on out there? Like, I seriously told the guy, I'm like, what the fuck is going out there? It's like, oh, we have a busy canning day. I was like, that's fine, but I could have got hit by that fork truck. It's like, why don't you put a sign up? I wasn't even safety. I wasn't worried about fucking other people. I was looking out for myself. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, and he was like, oh, that's how we regularly run our. I was like, yeah, until you hit somebody and you kill them, and then that family sues you, and guess who owns Avery? Like,
do you own Avery now?
No, because I didn't get hit.
See, that's where you
Damn
messed
it.
up.
I wish you'd gotten hit.
Well, yeah, you would own Avery. I would have sent it to you, but that's things people never can. Oh yeah, we're getting pallets of cans coming in. Let's buy ourselves a fork truck. Let's throw Wade on the fork truck. Wade looks like a good guy. He looks like he's a smart guy. He could run that fork truck.
He's a fork truck driver?
Abacus! He's not a fork truck driver.
Hey, man, I am fork truck certified and scissor lift certified.
So there you go.
All right, Jake, you definitely are very passionate about this.
Yeah. I'm a safety champion. So that means
He defeated all the challengers.
and the previous champion.
Oh, okay.
It was a cage match. It was epic. Matt will tell you about it.
Is OSHA approved? The cage was OSHA certified.
The scissor lifts were.
It was a confined space.
I had my permit. I don't think he did. I know I had something locked out. That was his face. My arms.
Are there any final parting words that you'd like to leave?
I'd say if you are starting up a program or you're starting up a brewery, I would say safety by design. Just look at where you're going to put stuff and say, okay, if I need to replace that or I need to get to that, can I do it safely? Because a lot of guys are like, oh yeah, I need to pump this here. Let's just throw that up there. And then it goes out. You know what? You know how to get to that? Yeah. I'm going to get a chair. Or pull right. Oh no, I can't get to it. I'm going to put a chair on the table, and then I'm going to get to it. No, just figure it out. Do safety by design. If not, just use the resources that are out there for you. You know, Brewers Association, Master Brewers Association, all that shit's free. They put all their safety stuff on for free. They have little lunch boxes where they talk about big breweries that had an issue, a safety issue, and they do put all their safety forms, what shit happened to them, and learn from it. Matt.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we finishing? Do you want me to do this? Here we go.
Shit.
This is the outro.
It's always the outro.
Gonna be.
He loves it. So you can find us at the Hotbeds Guide. Obviously, www.hotbedsguide.com. The podcast.
Just two W's.
Worldwide.
Did I say three?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Oh, sorry. World Wide Web. www.hotbedsguide.com. Our podcast is www.hotbedsguide.com.
Still just two W's.
I thought you said www.
Is it WW?
I'm sorry. I locked out one W. My sponsor, I'd like to thank Nick. You know, he's been a good guy. I know he locks it out. And that's Beerds by Nick. That's BEERDS by Nick at squarespace.com. Go see his shit. His shit is tight.
Actually, he's just beardsbynick.com. I haven't had a chance to change that yet. Sorry.
Oh, look at that.
I got outdated shit.
That was perfect.
That was good.
Sorry, I haven't had a chance to change that.
We have Patreons. Come and find the Facebook page. What's the Facebook page on the Facebook? TheHotbedsGuide.com?
WW.
No, it's Hotbeds and Beer Geeks.
Oh, Hotbeds and Beer Geeks.
That's the Patreon.
Rate us. Rate this episode. Give it 5 stars. Give it 8 stars. Give it 4 stars. Give it a lockout tagout. Maybe confined space.
Tell your stepmom.
These are all things that you'll never hear on the podcast.
Yeah, I figured.
Came through tripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us, spread run when I tell a bit peace. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Bendo with the switch again. Boy deliver like he heffing. Core with digits, give him estimates. Somersaults for my Benjamins. I got what you need, baby. Skirt the Chevy, make a scene, baby. LABB been the team, baby. Been Papa, word the G, baby. Look, labs till I'm finished. Had a handful of lemons through the hand. Got a bag, now the hands in the business. For my hand, it's a ticket. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I've been playing with the minutes that they been shoulda gave. And I'm flipping every digit that they been shoulda paid. Had to find a way to get it. Know the season what you made. If I ever wanna dip, then I'm brink with the blade. And I'm brinking a blink on the brink of some dumb shit. Watch how I move, cause I know the brink's coming. Watch for the blues, cause I know that they dumping. Nothing in my view, so it's hush on discussion. Hush on discussions, you know what you need to. I keep it in the fam to let you know that I don't need you. Y'all cats be see-through, heading out the piece. You been king, I'm regal, got it in my Abisu. Came through tripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us, spread run when I tell a bit peace. Love is love. Love is love. Hold up with it, got my back on Pippin, bitch, I'm back in kitchens with the tray. Bitch, windows tinted like how black my skin is. Scoop the shorty in it from a J. Swish, she got vision just like any women giving me the kitten. Way before the riches, nothing more to mention. I could light a block of powder or a glisten. Foreign on my body, that's Agora linen. I came through tripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us, spread run when I tell a bit peace. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Love is love. Love is love.